Hello NDA aspirants, welcome back to SSB Crack Exams. I'm Mrs. Lakshmi, your maths mentor. Welcome you at another session in planning your study for NDA Mathematics section. Well, might you are going well with your preparation. If not to, no worries. I'll be here providing with you the 50-day study plan. That how you can prepare for your NDA Mathematics section to boost your scores by preparing in last 50 days of preparations. Am I clear to you? So you have to stay tuned till the end for this particular session. But before that, let me recall you that you can just log on to learn.ssbcrackexams.com webpage, or download the mobile app SSB Crack Exams from Google Play Store to subscribe to our NDA course to have the access to all this full length content for NDA written examination preparation. Alright, so here we begin with our session with the components of NDA mathematics syllabus that you must know. There are total in all 8 topics for you to cover in study for the NDA mathematics preparation. That is the very first topic, algebra, then the differential calculus, then trigonometry, statistics and probability, integral calculus, analytical geometry 2D and 3D, vector algebra, and matrices and determinants. So I'll be here providing with you the 50-day study plan now to prepare for this topic. And there are the most important topics that I'll be mentioning you also while going through the session. So make a note of the same and try to cover up those topics first. Give your first preference to preparing those topics first, and later you can give your excess time for the preparation of the remaining topic. And that also how you can do, I'll be giving you all those tips and tricks in this particular session. All right, so stay tuned till the end. Let's now also recall important marking system that will be followed in your NDA mathematics section. That one questions in NDA mathematics will be carrying 2.5 marks. But if you attempt any wrong answer, that is, there is a negative marking there. So that is 0.83 marks approximately for every incorrect answer. You must know in mathematics section, you will be finding 120 questions to attempt, which in all carries 300 marks. So you have to be careful about the negative marking. If you are confident enough, you got the answer, attempt the questions with the full confidence, get the full marks, 2.5 marks for each correct answer. But don't try to mark the incorrect answer, because that will simply deduct your score. So you have to just add on to your score, attempting as many questions as possible with the 100% accuracy and confidence level. So all right, so here we begin with our session very first by looking into the NDA previous year's Q&A analysis for the very first topic, algebra, because this is important for you to understand that what were the number of questions previously part on this particular topic and how many in the range you can expect, so that you will have a clear idea that you have to prepare for the topic anyhow, right? So based upon the topic of algebra, there were 25 questions each in the year 2020, and in the year 2019 you can see there were highest questions so far, that is 37 in number. And later time the questions were 33 sometime, then 27, then 28, again 27, 32 each. So you can see that the good number between the range 25 till the 37 were previously part in the NDA examination based upon the topic of algebra. So this is the very fundamental basic topic and the base for the remaining all topics in NDA mathematics to prepare and boost your score in NDA mathematics section. So let's then have a look into the day-wise study plan for algebra. So you have to sit dedicatedly 5 hours per day, mandatory, stick to these timings. If you couldn't, then obviously your timetable will vary. If you don't want your timetable to be vary, dedicate your study hours and follow the timetable religiously. Alright, so sitting 5 hours per day, you can easily cover the study for the topic of set theory on day 1 and 2. 2 days are enough to study about the set theory. You can go through the topic introduction, concept lectures, SPQA lectures, PYQA lectures. And let me tell you here, what is this SPQA? Sample practice questions and answer based session. So here we are demonstrating to you the problem solving. Problems which are expected, right? Kind of typical questions could be part in NDA mathematics section based upon this particular topic set theory. And similarly, the PYQA sessions are important for you to must expose to. That is, those are the sessions wherein we are solving for you the previous year's questions. So maximum questions you will be getting solved in this PYQA sessions on respective topics. So you have to, for day 1 and 2, you are preparing just for set theory topic. You are also then attempting the quizzes and practice exercises for your assessment after going through our lectures, isn't it? And on day 3, I just given 1 day for the next topic relation because it's just an easy topic. You can easily, fast forward way, you can check out the lecture if required, or you can directly study from the study material also, because you are just left with the 50 days. And I hope here that you might have some basic knowledge about already the basics in mathematics. That is, in NDA mathematics, the grade 11th base is required. So you must be in grade 12 to attempt, right, for your NDA written examination, isn't it? So this topic study is important and you can easily do in a single day just by referring to study material, and mandatory for you to go through the SPQAs, PYQA lessons. Alright, and on day 4 and 5, you are preparing for the function important topic, sitting 5 hours per day. Okay, go through the important topic introduction, concept lectures as per your competence. You can here use a trick, fast forward the lecture. Wherever you know the concept, skip it. Which you don't know, just focus upon that too. Understand more about the same. But importantly, you go through the SPQA, PYQA lessons with their study materials and attempt the quizzes and practice exercises without fail for your better practice. And I have given single day preparation for complex number because this chapter is again an easy chapter. Right, you must be having a little base about the same. So if required, you can skip the concept lectures. If not also, you can manage your time by fast forwarding, because you, as by this time, by 50 days of preparation might be not required to go from, point to point explanation of the lesson. So you have to, importantly, for the last 50 days of preparation, stick to the SPQAs, PYQA lessons to expose to the problem solving and attempt the quizzes and practice exercises. Wherever required, you can take the help of the concept lectures. So those are also already inclusive in the timetable. All right. And on day 7th and day 8th, what you can do is you have to start your preparation for the important topic, that is the quadratic equation, which is the second important topic after the, function topic. The maximum question base, I'm saying like that. So function base maximum, you can easily expect 4 to 5 questions. Similarly on quadratic, previously there were sometimes 8 questions, sometimes 7, sometimes 4. Right, so minimum 4, maximum 8 questions can be easily expected on this topic, quadratic equation. So prepare very well. If you don't have a little knowledge also, what you do, devote your time, because here I have given you 2 days. You can easily devote your time and go through each and every lecture along with the study materials, and also go through the SPQAs, PYQA lessons, attempt the quizzes and practice exercises. Am I clear to you? So on the day 9th, you can prepare for the topic of permutations and combinations accordingly. Then on day 10th, prepare for the topic binomial theorem. On day 11, logarithms. On day 12, sequences and series. And on day 13, binary numbers. So while going through these all lectures, you can remember that you are preparing for last 50 days, right? You must be having a little base, must, right? If not also, you, wherever required, you can buffer the days and you stick to those concept lectures only to see wherever you are lacking behind. Otherwise, you can skip the lectures, but mandatory for you for all this topic to go through the SPQAs, PYQA lessons, right? Mandatory. And you have to go through the study material for your better recall of the important topics, important formulas, right? Important results from these particular topics on algebra. So by day 13, you are managing your time right from the day 1 to just focus upon the topic algebra to prepare well, which carries the maximum questions in the total 120 question based question paper of NDA mathematics, isn't it? So enough days I have provided to you, but you have to see that dedicatedly you are sitting for 5 hours to study well for the topic of algebra. So here comes the next topic preparation, that's a differential calculus. But here is the first of all the previous year's Q&A analysis for you to must know that differential calculus base, there were minimum 9 questions that were in NDA 1 of 2019 and maximum so far were 29 in number. But recently, that is in the latest 2020 papers, there were 11 questions. And you can see the numbers, 17 sometime, 14 sometime, 16 sometime, 25 and again 17. So good number of questions were part previously in NDA paper. So you can easily expect in this range, that is the range 9 to 29 questions based upon the topic of differential calculus in your NDA mathematics section. Am I clear to you? So how do you prepare for this topic? Here is the study plan that you must know. In differential calculus, there are 3 topics for you to prepare, namely the limits on continuity, differentiability and differentiation, applications of derivatives. So how do you prepare? Yes, wherever required, you can go through the concept lectures in detail. Wherever not required, skip as per your competence, right? And jump to revise the study material and solve the questions. So for that, on day 14 and 15, you are sitting for the topic of limits and continuity only, because this is a basic topic. Try to not skip much here. But if you have knowledge, then only you can skip as per your competence the concept lecture to watch. But mandatory to go through the study material. But importantly, go through the SPQA, that is sample practice Q&A based lessons, PYQA, previous year's Q&A based lessons, attempt the quizzes and practice exercises. Then on day 15, few hours which were remain, and the day 16, few hours, you have to just revise and study for the differentiability and differentiation. Revise if you have already known to the content, because I feel that most of the students of grade the 12 or they have completed 11 means obviously they will be having a little base for the limits and continuity, so they can easily just recall the important concepts for the same and easily understand this topic, derivatives, differentiation, that is the differentiation. Okay, so as per your competence, you can watch the concept lectures, but mandatory to go through the SPQAs, PYQA, quizzes and practice exercises, which you can only manage sitting 5 hours per day. So mandatory to dedicate your study hours. All right, and on day 16, few hours, and the remaining hours, all the hours of day 17, prepare only for the topic of applications of derivatives. Go through the concept lectures if required as per your competence. Go through the study material mandatory, and go through importantly the problem solving based lessons, SPQAs and PYQAs, so that you can easily attempt and practice the questions from quizzes and practice exercises. Alright, so by day 17, your preparation for the differential calculus has done, isn't it? So the next topic for you to prepare in line is the trigonometry, and here is the importance of this topic. Could you see that the number of questions have increased to the higher rate for the topic of trigonometry since the year 2016 till the latest year 2020, right? So minimum question previously were 8, but maximum now they were 25. So the number of questions, we can see that they are increasing day by day on the trigonometry. So you can easily expect the questions above 8 for sure, above 10 I must say, because nowadays the questions like the latest papers, you can see the 23, 17, 16, 12, 10 were based upon the trigonometry. So this is the, in fact, one of the important topic to prepare for your NDA mathematics section. Alright, so trigonometry, here is the study plan for the same. The day-wise study plan for trigonometry, which says that sit 5 hours dedicatedly per day, and on day 18, just go through the lectures on trigonometric ratios and identities. Also go through the study material. And the few hours of day 18 which are remain from that, there to day 19 few hours, you can recall and study about the inverse trigonometric function. Recall if you already have knowledge. If don't have also, you can easily get the time, because you are sitting for 5 hours. You can easily manage your time to go through the concept lectures in detail and the study material. And the remaining hours of day 19 are enough for going through the heights and distances and properties of triangles. I would say you are remain with just 50 days. And let me also here tell you that if you want, you can skip this topic, because this topic base hardly there will be 2 or 1 question. So if you want, you can skip directly, but importantly prepare the trigonometric ratios and the inverse trigonometric functions. But you see that you are going through this SPQAs, PYQA mandatory to understand the problem solving on trigonometric questions. Okay, so day 20 only you are sitting to go through all the problem solving based lessons, and you are solving the problems from quizzes and attempting the practice exercises. Alright, so the next topic for your preparation is the statistics and probability. Statistics and probability is another important topic in line from algebra. So algebra was the first, then next differential, next trigonometry, then stats and probability. And you just follow this order, okay, for preparation, so that you can easily boost your score, because these are the topic on which base previously there were maximum number of questions. So if you confidently prepare with the 100% accuracy level for this topic, it's a definite that you will be getting the complete score for this topic based questions, isn't it? So you can easily see here the analysis. I'm not saying that the previous year's NDA papers are saying this, that in NDA 2020 there were 20 questions each. You can see the questions were like 17, 18, 19, 20. Minimum that those were in the NDA 1 of 2016. That's fine, but now maximum you can see majority of questions were in 20, 19, 17 and 18 in number. So good questions, right, based upon the topic of statistics and probability. And let me also tell you that these two topics are scoring topics, because question on these topics will be of easy level, I must say. You just require the little base and just have a logical thinking and idea about the problem solving on statistics and probability. The topic statistics is just a formula based. Most of the time, majority of question can be easily answered if you know the formulas. And probability, you just need to have the logical thinking that you can improve upon having the little knowledge about the topic probability. So what is the study plan for the same? Sit 5 hours per day on day 21 and day 22. A few hours of day 22. Don't take complete 5 hours. Okay. So you take 2.5 hours of 22. So 5 hours plus 2.5 hours. 7.5 hours of study is sufficient for the topic of statistics. Okay. You can easily expose to the topic introduction lecture, go to the concept lecture wherever required. If you want, you can skip also, because as I told you, this just a statistics, it's just a formula based lesson. Going through study material will be just completing your task of study for statistics. So but mandatory for you to go through the SPQAs, PYQA lessons, attempt the quizzes and practice exercises. Am I clear to you? So from the remaining hours of the day 22, that is the remaining 2.5 hours and the 5 hours of day 23, you are just sitting and preparing for the topic of probability. Okay, so you can go through the concept lectures in detail. Those will be in short lecture, just to give you the idea about that what are the concepts of probability, how do you calculate the probability of an event, what are the multiple criteria, the conditional probability, the Bayes theorem, the important theorem based questions that you will be encountering in your NDA exam. So go through and expose to those lectures, understand the concepts and be confident enough on day 23 to study and understand about SPQA and PYQA. Attempt the quizzes and practice exercises for your better practice. Right? So that on the next day, the topic comes is the integral calculus for you to prepare, but you have to know what is the importance of this topic so that you can understand from the NDA previous year's Q&A based analysis that integral calculus based, the least questions so far were 6 in number and the highest questions so far were 16 in number. And you can see the questions were ranging between what? Like they were sometime 9, then later time 11, 10, right? Then 13, then 10. Right, good questions these are also, but this topic is a scoring topic provided you are known to the little concepts and the important integration based standard results. So here is the study plan for the same to prepare for. Sit dedicatedly 5 hours per day on day 24th and 25th. Study about, importantly, in detail about the indefinite integration, because indefinite integration is the base for the remaining definite and the areas bounded by regions. This topic won't be taking you much of your time if you are expert in the indefinite integration, because just a matter of few differences that you need to know by just going through the study materials. So that is how you have to prepare smartly for this topic, but mandatory for you to go through the SPQA, PYQA lessons to understand the problem solvings, and you have to solve the quizzes and practice exercises for your practice. Then and only then you will be understanding that how much you are prepared for this topic, right? So the remaining hours of day 25 and the day 26, you can only devote to differential equations. Here also, there won't be a new knowledge like you are gaining to, just will be a little initial concepts about the differential equation. What is it? How do you frame a differential equation? But in the process, so you will be using the concepts of derivatives and the integrations only, right? So yes, if you are devoting your good time for the above topic, that is the indefinite integration, definite integration, differential equation won't be a difficult task for you to understand. So you can just revising the study material, knowing the important new things in the differential equations, you can directly switch to SPQA, PYQA lessons, attempt the quizzes and practice exercises. Am I clear to you? So by day 26th, you are done with the preparation till integral calculus. And the next topic for your preparation is then the formula based chapters. Those are the analytical geometry 2D and 3D. In the sense, there are like the formulas for the distance, right? The section formulae, important centroid formula. Then there comes the equations of line formulae, slope point form, 2-point form. So different concepts and the results and the equation framing based results for you to study and expose to for analytical geometry 2D and 3D. Here you can see the previous year's Q&A analysis then. That this topic you must heard from me that formula based, so it's easy, right? So you can easily get the good score for the questions ranging between 11 to 20. You can see that least questions were 11 and maximum questions were 20 in previous papers of NDA. Recently, in the latest year 2020, there were 15 questions each. See, these are the combined topics. There is a much to study for this topic, but the questions will be in the range 11 to 20. So you have to be smart enough to prepare for this topic, and you must have the little base as you already covered your grade 11 study, because you are left with just 50 days of your preparation, isn't it? So how do you prepare for this topic smartly then? Here is the plan, that on day 27th and 28th, these are the 2 days. So what do? You take up the full day 27th, but 28th you have to take only 2.5 hours. Am I clear to you? So total 5 plus 2.5 hours. So total 7.5 hours study you are doing for the topic of analytical geometry 2D. But how do you do? See, you have to mandatorily go through the study material because these are formula based lessons. Go through the important content wherever required. You feel that you are not understanding yourself, so you can take the help of our concept lectures as per your competence. And this topic like circles, parabola, ellipse and hyperbola, topics of conic section, wherein you can expect the 2 questions maximum, right? 1 on circle, 1 on conic section, or 2 on conic section sometime, or 1 on circle 3, 2 to 4 questions. Alright, so you can go through the concept lecture if required for you, otherwise you can skip, but mandatory for you here in this preparation to go through the SPQs, PYQs, attempt the quizzes and practice exercises on analytical geometry 2D, which will be sufficient study for this topic. Alright, so the next 2.5 hours of day 28 and the all hours of day 29, you are preparing for the 3D. Similarly, like if you suppose not known to the concept, don't worry, if you have concepts of 2D, that's enough to understand the analytical geometry 3D. In analytical geometry 3D, you can go through the concept lectures wherever required. And initially, if you see the lectures of 3D geometry and line in 3D also, the later lectures on plane in 3D will be easy for you to study and understand. So sphere is a kind of like relative to the lectures on circles. Circle in 2D, sphere in 3D. So just you are transforming the formulas of circle into 3D of the formulas of sphere. So so as per your competence, you can go through the lectures, but mandatory for you to go through the study materials. But importantly, go through on the day 29th. Go through all the SPQs, PYQA lessons, attempt the quizzes and practice exercises, which will be sufficient study for analytical geometry 3D. Am I clear to you? So, next topic is the vector algebra to understand 4. And this topic, consistently, there will be a questions 4 to 5 in number. You can also see in the previous year's Q&A analysis here that in the year 2020, there were 5 questions each on this vector algebra, right? But the maximum questions so far were 8 in number on this topic, and that were in the NDA 2 paper of 2018. So you can see the list questions 4 in number and maximum 8 in number, and most of the time the questions were how 5 and 6 in number. Did you see that? So these questions are fixed in number, and you know this topic will be a scoring for you if you have a proper base about this topic. And this is one of the detached topic. It doesn't depend on the other concepts from the remaining topics of NDA mathematics syllabus. So it's a new topic. You start freshly and finish it freshly, right? So how do you prepare for this topic? It's sufficient to prepare on day 30 just in 5 hours. But how? You have to have a little base because you are left with 50 days of preparation, right? If not, you can accordingly devote your time. Manage your time for the concept lectures to go through, but importantly go through the SPQA and PYQA lessons, attempt the quizzes and practice exercises. And if you could do this as early as possible, remaining time, just revise the study material and solve few unsolved problems. Alright, and then comes the preparation plan for the matrices and determinants. But before that, NDA previous year's Q&A analysis, you can see that there were 15 question max to max based upon this topic, matrices and determinants, and that were also once in the NDA 2 paper of 2018. But the list questions so far were 3 number, that were also once. But most of the time here you can see that the questions were 8 in number, then 7, then 12, then 9, 10, 6. So questions between this range you can easily expect, and this is also a good number. And in fact, this topic is a scoring, and it's an easy topic to prepare in the NDA mathematics section. So how do you prepare? It's sufficient to prepare on the day 31st and 32, just sit for 5 hours. So 10 hours of study is important and sufficient for you to do for matrices and determinants. So you can importantly go through the topic introduction lecture, fast forward, you can go through the concept lectures, but importantly, do not miss to go through the SPQAs and PYQA lesson to understand the problem solving approaches and attempt the quizzes and practice exercises. And the remaining time, revise the study material for the important formulas, important results, and solve few unsolved problems. Alright, so till day 32, you are done with the preparation of all the topics in NDA mathematics syllabus. So here comes now time for you to do the quick revision. So day-wise revision plan for your NDA mathematics section here, that sitting 5 hours per day on day 33. what do? You just revise and solve the problems on all the topics of algebra, right? You can revise the study materials of whichever topics you require, or you can directly switch to the problem solving. So quick revision and practice is required for all the 10 topics in algebra, and that you are doing on the day 33 only. So just one dedicatedly one day you are giving to algebra. Then on day 34 you are only revising and practicing for differential calculus. On day 34 remaining hours, revising and studying for trigonometry required, and 35th you are revising and practicing for stats and probability parallelly. And on day 36 parallelly revise and practice. Just try to practice, because you just have completed the study, you must be known to the formulas. But if still you have forgot it, you can revise wherever required the study materials and solve. Try to focus much upon solving the problems, right? So analytical geometry 3D also you have to try to solve the problems parallelly with those the analytical geometry 2D and integral calculus, wherein on day 37th you are solving and practicing and revising for vector algebra topic and matrices and determinants. So from the remaining time of the day 37, if not also the next day, no problem, you have to start with your NDA mathematics mock test attempt, because you are just left with the 50 days. You have to dedicate these 5 hours of study importantly. Then and only then this plan will be fruitful to you. Otherwise, you have to increase your number of hours per day for the later time for the remaining days to cover up this plan, to make a proper use of this plan to boost your score. All right, so you have the buffer of these days, that is 47th, 48th, 49th and 54 days wherever you are lagging. But try to see that by day 46th you are enough done with the preparation, and you have gone through the mock test series also, because these are the real time exam based series that you are understanding and going through, attempting and exposing, so that you are understanding the typical questions, also understanding the time management, that the time that you are taking to attempt the questions and how many questions you could attempt in every mock test. So all the assessment you will be doing and doing the required revision by these days. So the remaining 4 days, just what you do is relax, and if required you found out that you are lacking somewhere, these points are need to be revised, so you can do that for the revision and practice on these remaining days. All right, so with this we have done with our study plan, but following this study plan requires these tips to remember also. The very first tip, and mandatory for you to, is take the printout of this study plan and stick in your study room. Try to follow this schedule as strictly as possible, mandatory. Then the second important point is, when you are solving the problem, see that you are practicing, means you are taking a pen and paper and solving the problem. Don't just read out the question and answer, I mean the solution of the question. Okay, mathematics is not that level of preparation. You have to solve the problems taking pen and paper while going through the solutions. Then the third important point is theorems and formulae. You must know these are the important. So wherever you are preparing them, you are exposed to them, see that you are also rewriting it on a paper with a pen, and you are sticking that paper, and at least every day, just by going and coming, like go and to and fro, you are just having a look at those and revising the same. So you have to know these theorems and formulae are most important features. So to memorize them, you have to write them 3 to 4 times, paste them in a room where you are sitting for a study, and above your study table required, anywhere where you will be able to see them daily. And the next important point for you to remember is, whenever you are practicing problem, you can always give preference to previous questions also to solve. So you can solve as many previous papers as possible you can, and that too, see that in time bound fashion. Don't take just half an hour for a single question solving. See that proper 2 to 3, maximum 5 minutes you are taking, not beyond that, for attempting a question. Though you are taking initially a time, for by the next attempt it has to be like lessen the time to attempt for the same question. So as per your competence, see that you are managing your time properly, so that the maximum questions you can attempt in your NDA mathematics section to boost your score, right? And taking the NDA mathematics mock test, I would tell you that this will satisfy the goal of managing your time properly. So you have to take this test for your assessment, for your time management, and see that maximum question you could attempt in NDA mathematics section with the 100% accuracy. But while following study timetable and preparing for your NDA written examination, see that you are chilling yourself and relaxing yourself, because that is important. to regenerate your mind, you have to calm, you have to be calm, you have to be attentive, you have to be patient, and you have to be accurate while solving the questions on NDA mathematics section. So you have to prepare your mind too while preparing for the NDA mathematics section. So all the very best for your preparation, and please stay tuned to SSB Crack Exams for such all important sessions which will help you in preparing for your NDA written examinations. So just log on to learn.ssbcrackexams.com or download the mobile app SSB Crack Exams for all the important defense exam based related notifications and updates. And please subscribe to NDA courses for having access to all the important content that is part in NDA written examinations. So all the very best for your preparation, and please stay tuned to SSB Crack Exams. Jai Hind.